All right, so let's do the proper intro. Hey guys, how's it going? Ryan here with Midwest One Promotions, and I'm here with our buddy Andy, who I think we've talked to before because I did interview Hex at one point.
Yeah.
But we're not here to talk about that. We have a new project in the works. Well, not in the works. It's out. It's official. It's
I don't even
all
have a CD ready to go.
that. um,
Here. There we
there
go.
we go. Yeah. So new project, Heavy as I. So first question.
What do you got?
How long has this type of because this is very different from Hex, obviously.
Yeah.
How long has this kind of a project been kind of like swimming in your head?
Um, I can go back to 2002. I
Oh
mean,
wow.
even before that,
Hmm.
a band called Systematic that I
Hmm.
was a really big fan of. I still am. I just listened to them today, actually. And all the classic rock stuff was always influencing me. But I wrote the intro to The Path back in 2002, working on Music Around. I just innocently had the chords pop into my head, and it's
Hmm.
all finger style type blues kind of music. And that ended up becoming the intro. I didn't want to waste it as just like one little piece of a song. I wanted to
Hmm.
use it for the whole thing, but it worked out. And but yeah, I've had this stuff brewing in my head for a very, very, very long time.
Okay.
And
Okay.
after our last show, after Hex's last show in February, I believe it was, of 20, what are we in, 24, 22, of 22,
Yep. That sounds about right.
that week I started writing.
Okay.
Like literally, like I went and grabbed my gear and I got home and I just started writing. And it wasn't anything that was necessarily planned. It just happened,
Hmm.
for the beginning stages of all of this, just innocently writing, so it influences very, very, very back in the years,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
now, here we are. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's especially in this scene. I feel like if you're known for one thing and then you turn around and do something that is literally the complete opposite of that, how do you think that's going to translate? I mean, what's the reception you've gotten so far? I mean, I know that the music hasn't been out terribly long. I mean, 9 months or so, I think, a year
well,
maybe
what
since you released the first singles.
yeah, I mean, it's been um the first thing I think of with that.
Yeah.
No, going back to, like, recording the first set of songs and everything, the first one was Crusher.
Hmm.
And it's funny because that's the song that I feel is like the weakest song on the album, but everyone's like, "Oh my God, dude." But I'm gonna kind of mold two answers into one here.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, the support at the very beginning, like when I completely left Hex, and some people think I shouldn't talk like this, but like when I stepped away from the metal scene,
Hmm.
there was really no contact. I didn't hear anything from anybody wondering what the hell happened.
Hmm.
Nobody hit me up about needing a guitar player, like nothing. Like it was crickets.
Huh.
And that was hard. That was really hard because I kind of felt like there was this almost like a false brotherhood. Is, I mean,
Hmm.
this, maybe I'm shooting myself in the foot by saying this, but it's just one of those things where I didn't feel like I had anybody supporting me.
Hmm.
And so I just said, piss on it, man. I'm out for my own here. I'm here to do my own shit, and I want to write what I want to write. And nobody's going to have a say so in it. And
Hmm.
where it goes, it goes. And so I just started writing music, and then I put out, I believe it was Four on the Floor,
Yep. Yep.
and that was in its infant stage. But I'm doing all the recording down here at home, and did my quick little mix and master on it and whatnot just to get something out.
Hmm.
And it was really slow going, but I mean, I can tell you right now that I physically have an album, and I'm putting it all out there. I'm advertising. I got all the artwork. Thank you, Justin. Um, it blown up. I mean, I had a 63-year-old coworker walk up to me and go, "Dude, that album's kick ass." Like, it blew me away. I didn't expect that.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
he's got like three favorite songs on the album, and like people are messaging me saying like, "Dude, this is awesome, and this song, and I love this. Can't wait to see you live." And I mean, I've been mailing out CDs for the last 2 weeks.
Nice. Nice.
I mean, Josh Nelson from Blue Ox, he lives down in Utah, Arizona,
Hmm.
and I wouldn't have expected him to hit me up and want a CD, but he wanted it. And that's what I'm going for, man. That's what I want. I want people that I wouldn't expect.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, and so it's been really kind of humbling. We'll put it that way. I mean, I'm already
Yeah.
pretty damn humble, but it's like, whoa, wow.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. For sure, yeah. So how do we think that's going to translate once you start doing shows?
Um, kind of going off what we were talking about before we started recording here was, my idea with going into this, and I don't want to give away all the
Oh,
secrets of
of
Andy's
course, yeah.
mind, but I'm taking a totally different approach than I ever have in any other band, and because I'm the only musician on this album, it's mine, it's my
Hmm.
baby, it's
Hmm.
what I've created, and I'm gonna do as much as I possibly can to advertise the living piss out of it, and between guitar picks, stickers, the album, money's coming in to make T-shirts now, so
Hmm.
that's awesome. Literally when we hit the stage, I intend to come off as professional as humanly possible because
Hmm.
that's the way I've always conducted myself. I mean, you know, having my gear set up a certain way and being dialed in and
Hmm.
looking and sounding and just everything. I want the whole package to be as professional as possible because I want opportunities that I may have gotten in the past, but it didn't really go as far as maybe we wanted it to
Hmm.
individually or whatever. And yeah, dude, I want this to be something more than just a local band. And
Hmm.
where it
Hmm.
goes, who knows? But it's getting a great response right now. So I
That's
feel,
awesome. That's
yeah,
awesome.
dude, it
Yeah.
blew me away.
Very cool. Very, very cool. Okay, well, let's go back a little bit. Let's talk influences because this, again, just listening to the four songs that are on Spotify, I hear at least a half a dozen or so different
I want to hear
influences in there.
yours. What
I
what what
mean,
do you
I
what do you
mean,
think they are?
the ones that you've mentioned, obviously ZZ Top, Leonard Skinner. I hear like some Montrose in there. I hear a little Black Crows even. I hear who else? I mean that those are just off the top of my head, yeah. But you know.
Um, well, I mean, yeah, hey, I'm not going to shake a stick at that because I mean, Skinner's a big one for me, and it's not the typical KQRS songs. It's like
Hmm.
Mr. Banker.
Hmm.
Oh God, what I Need You. That song's
Hmm.
awesome. Out for
Hmm.
the or what the hell is it? I'm on the hunt.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Just I like that stuff. Call Me the Breeze.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I mean, they're a big thing. Early ZZ Top,
Hmm.
big time ZZ Top. I mean, I got three basses here that look like Dusty Hills. You know what I mean? Like I love Dusty Hills bass playing.
Hmm.
He's just straight to the point and doesn't do anything flashy except for like fur and sparkly guitars and shit.
Well,
But
yeah, but that was all gimmick anyway, so
yeah,
yeah.
oh, totally, and it worked, man. I
It
mean,
worked. It sold it, man.
they're a three-piece powerhouse that
Hmm.
could kick a metal band's ass in my book. I mean,
Oh
the
yeah.
riffs and just the vibe and all that shit that they could bring to the table. Well, that's why there's that little bit of heaviness in what
Hmm.
I do, and even some of the solos that I do in the songs. But I kind of get a little long-winded here. So, Skinner, ZZ Top, uh, bands like Blackfoot,
Hmm.
Deep
Hmm.
Purple.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Government Mule, and I don't know if it's going to show up on here, but I met Warren Haynes from Government Mule up here in this picture frame, and I had him sign the CD. I even gave him a Heavy as I CD with the first rendition or first mastered tracks
Hmm.
that I had, and just said, "Hey, dude, I'm not looking for a record deal, but I just want to show you what you brought to me
Hmm.
for an influence." So that's been going on since '98. But Jeff Beck
Hmm.
is a huge influence, and that's going to be one that I think a lot of people are going to be surprised about because when you listen to the last song on the album, or second to last song, "Lean on It,"
Hmm.
it's all Jeff Beck. Totally
Okay.
huge,
Okay.
huge influence. I got his Strat, like I bought his Strat not too long after he passed away, and yeah, Guitar Shop is like one of the most that and Deep Purple Machine Head. Um, shit, man. Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, like
Mm-hmm.
those albums just kick ass. But Corrosion of Conformity, that's
Oh yeah,
another.
yep, yep, yep.
A buddy of mine pointed that one out to me. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty obvious.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a lot of the classic rock stuff or bands kind of similar to like Down and Corrosion of Conformity.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, the really heavy Southern boogie stuff. Yeah,
yeah,
for sure, for sure.
this 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 music is like it's funny because it kind of plays off of like a cover band that I wanted to do called Kegger. And
Okay.
I wanted it to be based around playing like bike shows, car shows, um, like 70s type kind of events, like you
Mm-hmm.
watch Dazed and Confused. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to
Mm-hmm.
be that band that people would tap their foot to and chicks would be out there dancing around and just a fucking party. Like
Mm-hmm.
stuff
Mm-hmm.
we don't get to do anymore in 2024. Like 2024 is lame compared to the 70s. So lame.
Um, Everything since about 1995 has been pretty lame since the 70s compared to the 70s. So,
I'm gonna back you on that one. Yeah. Yep.
not that I was around for a lot of the 70s, but I don't remember much of it.
Well,
But
you're lucky. I
you
was
know,
81, so I don't know. I don't know what was going on back then. I just hear stories.
Mhm. Yeah, but I know what you mean. I mean, Outlaw Saint is kind of similar. We have that like 70s, 80s kind of vibe, kind of. I mean, almost biker show, but kind of not. I mean, like playing Sturgis is one of our goals.
Hell yeah,
So
and
yeah,
and
so yeah.
I think that's a totally obtainable thing. I mean,
Hmm.
I think anything that any one of us wants with our project or our band, it's there. It's
Hmm.
just busting ass, improving yourself, and that's where I'm at. Any one of us could sit behind a computer and we can type up our flyer on Facebook, but to
Hmm.
actually get out there and meet people, shake hands,
Hmm.
give
Hmm.
a professional persona, that goes further in my book.
Oh,
You
absolutely,
bust your ass, you get
absolutely.
what
Yeah,
you
yeah,
want.
yeah,
You know?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
um, um. So what was so you left Hex, and we don't have to go into that because I don't know the story, but I mean that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean I was at that last show and I talked to you at that last show, not knowing it was your last show. Um,
Surprise.
and then like the next day or 2 days later, I think there was an announcement on Facebook or so I was like, oh, okay. So then I feel kind of special that I was at that show. Um, so I mean, you go home, you start writing. I mean, you have the songs. How do you start recording? How do you construct it? What's the mindset that you're in? Like a
uh,
month later?
a month later. Well, and you know what? I'll just say this, and then I'll go into that.
Okay.
You know, uh, the hatchet is buried.
Hmm.
Everyone's totally cool. There was never really a problem with anybody. It just there was just some bitterness on my end, and
Hmm.
I had to just kind of get over that, move past it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Hex, the band that started in 2013 was just me writing riffs,
Hmm.
and then it morphed into having a bass player, Dan,
Hmm.
and then we jammed with some guys, and then those two guys left, and then I talked to Tom because I found out Tom wasn't an Impaler anymore, and I
Hmm.
jumped on it,
Oh
and then
yeah.
we started jamming, and then more of the songs started coming too, and it was like this baby that I had, like what I have now, but then it
Yeah.
morphed into something, and I didn't I didn't want to put a stranglehold on it, a chokehold like the Hetfield chokehold,
Hmm.
because I
Hmm.
didn't want members to feel like they weren't part of the band.
Right.
And
Right.
it kind of started morphing more into like where Matt, Tom, and Alan are at now, and
Hmm.
they've got a band that I think really clicks with those three guys,
Hmm.
and I'm grateful for that. I'm glad that those guys are still doing their thing, and I just realized that where I was at mentally. Um, with just everything, man. I mean, all of us went through shit with COVID and all
Hmm.
that,
Hmm.
and family members or friends getting sick or possibly dying, being isolated, being depressed, work, dealing with
Hmm.
that bullshit,
Hmm. Hmm.
and other personal stuff. I just was not there anymore, and I felt like I no longer had that entity that I had at the beginning. So I felt like it was kind of a dead end street for me with the
Hmm.
metal stuff, and I just had to move on. And it was the smartest decision for me. I mean, I don't listen to metal really anymore unless I'm absolutely like, oh yeah, dude, I got to listen to Carcass, Buried Dreams, or
Hmm.
Morbid Domination, or you know what I mean? I mean, shit that influenced me, but I don't search any metal out. It doesn't do anything for me anymore, except for the
Hmm.
stuff that I grew up with. But um, now as far as like bringing everything together, I mean, I started writing four on the or Crusher, and then four on the floor, Legend Till I Die, and
Hmm.
then Path, and then I don't remember the song, what song came next.
Hmm.
Because I mean, you got to figure, dude, if you're the only person that's working on this stuff, that means you're the only person to bounce ideas off of, and then you're
Hmm.
spending time focusing on it, trying to make it new and fresh and original and all this shit. And like, I have videos on my computer where I'm jamming to a riff, and then
Hmm.
that riff starts morphing into what becomes the main riff for Legend Till I Die.
Hmm.
So I documented a lot of shit, which is really cool, and I got to put it all together. But fortunately for me, over the last few years, I've been able to put together a home studio. I got a drum kit with all the mics, I got all the interfaces, all that shit.
Hmm.
And anytime I would get an idea, I would run over to that drum kit and I'd throw drums down on it. That way I at least had an idea brewing. Well then, of course, here's song number 2 over here that was being worked on, and now I'm on song number 3,
Hmm.
and I
Hmm.
forget about that one, and I'm working on this one, cutting and moving shit and doing this and that and writing riffs, and it's just, I had hair when I started it, and but it's a hell of a thing to take on. And the only other person that I know locally that has done anything like this outside of Prince would
Hmm.
be like Will Marvelaeus with Insect Death.
Hmm. Hmm.
I believe he did everything on that.
that sounds right. Yeah. Yeah.
Does
Yeah.
that sound right? So I mean, he's conquered that world in metal.
Hmm.
And then I'm over here doing my thing with the hard rock stuff, hard rock kind of bluesy stuff.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so it's just the best way I could put it is it's a really, really intense. You have to be driven and motivated and willing to put the time in. Because, dude, I mean, there was weeks where I just wanted nothing to do with it. I had to take a break from it,
Oh,
and
I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it probably would have been done in a year if I
Hmm.
wasn't dicking around. But I got too many irons in the fire, basically.
Hmm. Well, and then again, just that mental strain of this is all me. I have to think of all of it, and again, making it something fresh and new, something you can be proud of, something you want to put out, and then the perfectionist mind starts, and I can see going down that rabbit hole, and you
Oh,
screw yourself. Yeah.
well, think of demos that you've done with your bands,
Hmm.
and think about how you get that term demoitis.
Oh,
Like,
yep, yep.
like was it Nuno Bentoncourt talks about that with Not More Than Words, Wholehearted,
Oh,
with
okay, yeah,
Rick Beato.
yeah. Hmm.
And he took a freaking microphone, taped it to his leg. He's got his 12 string. First time he's ever owned a 12 string. Him and
Hmm.
Gary Sharon have this like recorder or whatever. I don't know if it's digital or a 4 track, but all the guitar, all the vocals, all the bass. No, there isn't any bass. So all this stuff was actually from the demo that they recorded at Nuno's house,
Hmm.
and they bounced that over to 2-inch tape, and they're on tour. They're making millions. You know what I mean? So yeah, and that
Oh.
and that kind of goes hand in hand. Like what I do down here. I mean, this isn't a soundproofed, uh, dialed in room with fancy wood shapes on the walls and
Hmm.
foam everywhere. This is my bedroom from 1997.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I got all my cool, my memorabilia and my Eddie Van Halen tribute and
Hmm.
autographs, and I got all my shit in here that influences me and brings a smile to my face because it's part of my youth. It's part of
Hmm.
my growing up and getting into music. And I mean, like, I got a picture over here of Van Halen's studio, 5150, and
Hmm.
there's cigarette ashtrays everywhere, and you know, beer bottles and 5150 amp and Alex's kit and Mike's bass rig, and it just has this like fucking cool vibe to it.
Hmm.
And I love that shit. I eat that stuff up. I love geeking out about that. And that always inspired me, flipping through that Van Halen best of guitar book, trying to
Hmm.
learn, you know, the tapping shit,
Yep, yep. Oh, yeah, yeah. So once you've gotten through labor and you've birthed the thing, How do you go about, I mean, because I know you searched for a while to find members to put together some sort of live band. So
Yeah.
what was that process like?
Very, very stressful because, you know, I couldn't think of, there was only a couple individuals that I thought of that I would want to be part of this.
Hmm.
And, you know, I tried reaching out to them and everything, and one's in like three bands and the other one wasn't really committed to it, and it just kind of ran its course, you know. And then I started going, you know, messaging people on Craigslist,
Hmm.
um, joining up with Facebook groups, you know, Minnesota music, TC musician search, shit like that.
Hmm.
And, you know, there were some people that I had talked to. There's one guitar player that came down, and things just didn't, it didn't click, you
Yeah,
know?
didn't click. Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know, I wasn't going to force anything, but it was damn discouraging, dude. I mean,
Hmm.
it really, I mean, trying to stay, again, that whole word, you know, the whole word of motivation,
Hmm.
trying to stay motivated and not be deterred from what I wanted to pursue. And, you know, lo and behold, my neighbor south of me here is buddies of a guy, and the guy used to work at a drum shop. And one day, the same day that my neighbor posted that I was looking for a drummer,
Hmm.
my drummer looks on Facebook and sees this post on Chris's page, and all of a sudden my phone lights up like, "Hey, Jeff wants to talk to you." And Jeff's from the, you know, from the bands of the 70s, you know, that's his
Hmm.
era that he played a lot, you know, 70s and 80s and all that shit. And he's a phenomenal drummer. You know, he's not a spring chicken, but you know what? I would rather have a genuine, like, disciplined, you know, practicing drummer that loves the music,
Hmm.
loves what the mission statement is, and supports it and backs it and puts that effort in, you know. We've had some guitar players and bass players come down that just didn't pan out. And then I reached out to my old bass player from Hex, Dan Nelson.
Oh, nice, nice.
And so, you know, he's been coming down and jamming, and Lance Veen, if you remember that name at all. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but him and I
Mm.
played in Cold Colors together, and he's coming down and jamming right now. Basically, him and Dan are just kind of seeing how it feels and everything like that. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's been going really good, and we've got what is it? Of the eight, yeah, five of the eight songs. You know, we're able to go through start to finish.
Hmm.
Everyone's kind of finding their place. Like Lance is doing little like country bends and shit, which is so, you know, or he's a squealer too. He likes to do the
Oh,
Zach,
nice. Yeah, yep.
you know. But yeah, dude, it's just it was a real big struggle to get to this point. And now, like, I know Lance's rock moves, and I know he, you know, he's a huge Deep Purple fan, just like I am. So,
Hmm.
you know, any of the falsetto, wow, you know, the real high shit that Ian Gillan could do, you know. Um, but yeah, it was really hard, dude. Really, really, really hard. How many times have I said, dude?
Not enough. Not enough.
Okay. This is like going to Guitar Center and, hey man, how you doing? Oh, I'm doing good, man. Everyone's man because nobody remembers anybody's names.
It's a good catch-all. It is a good catch-all. I use it all the time. Um,
Get you out
ca-
of hot water.
but well, because I'll go to shows and I'll be like, I know half of these people because I see them on Facebook and I may be friends with them, but I have no idea what their name is. So it's just
Yeah.
a good catch-all to, you know. Um,
Yep.
and I mean, as someone who and this is not a diss against Tank, and he'll agree to this. Someone who's been in Outlaw Saint 3 times over the past 9 years, 9 or so years,
Mhm.
and even in my 3 stints, it's been about 7 different lineups. And we went through that process of auditioning guitar players, and some of them come in as just like, "What are you doing? Like you have
Yeah.
no idea." It's just like so I feel your pain, but even more so because this is your baby. Outlaw Saint was never my baby. This is
Yeah.
your baby, and you have an idea in your head of what you want. And if you're not getting it, it must be, you know,
It's a
devastating,
scary feeling
you know?
because, you know, like I say, you know, with going back to yeah, I was gonna say Four Blood. That's really going back, but you know, going back to uh, Hex,
Hmm.
you know, I lost control of something, and it wasn't a matter of like having that that control, but I just felt like I lost the ability to be creative
Hmm.
and to be able to get my ideas out there and everything. And, with this, I've expressed it to the guys that, hey, I'll throw drums down on a demo because
Hmm.
I have the ability to do it. Here's what I'm thinking,
Hmm.
embellish,
Yeah. Take
take it,
this and
go.
run with it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for Jeff if he's going to copy exactly what I do because the first like two songs are just, hi-hat, cymbals, ride, kick, snare. There's
Yeah.
no tom work. I
Hmm.
didn't believe in toms because I couldn't, I
Yeah.
wasn't, and that's a whole nother thing too, the whole being a drummer. But, um, it's hard to come in and fill somebody's shoes and play exactly. I mean, I think of like Mike or Mike when he took over my role in Climactic.
Hmm.
You know, I'm a three finger style bass player. So I'm doing a lot of galloping shit. I'm doing
Hmm.
a lot of dexterity uh, moves and all, or dexteral moves. There, I'll make a new word.
Good
You
word.
know, but getting around it, and he was a pick player,
Hmm.
and so I know that that had to be challenging for him. And um, I've joined up with bands before playing other people's stuff, and it's hard to do. But I'm basically saying for these guys that hey, here's the idea,
Hmm.
here's what I have, here's the riff, here's the main riff. Let's work on it together. Let's add some stuff together.
Hmm.
What's what's done is done. 8 songs are done.
Yep.
Now it's learn it, and then we can start adding our flavor to it. You
Yeah.
know,
Yep.
but when it comes down to like the drums and shit, I'm a behind the beat, just a real kind of sleazy, like sound. I think of Soundgarden. I
Oh
don't know why,
yeah. Yep.
but it
Yep.
just has that, you know. But I'm that kind of guy,
Hmm.
just
Hmm.
AC/DC simplistic drummer.
Hmm.
And I like big thunderous tom work. I like the ride.
Hmm.
I don't have a China on my kit. I just I beat cymbals up is what I do.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, there's a lot of bands that I like that it's the most simple drumming, but it suits the song so well that you don't need anything else. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah. Well, and
You
that's why I say demoitis, talking about like Nuno Denton chord.
know?
Wow. But bringing him when I brought him up, the whole point of that was is that you get this demoitis where you hear what you hear on the demo and you're listening to that over and over and over and over again.
Hmm.
And then when somebody sends you a mixed and mastered version of it, you're going, what the hell is that? That took me a little bit. And I know Chad knows what I'm talking about because God, I felt bad for him. But he was patient with me, you know.
Hmm.
But it really was a struggle with that because I got so used to hearing them on my phone in
Hmm.
a very not so good mastered version of it,
Hmm.
So yeah, now I can listen to it and I'm like, holy shit,
Hmm.
dude, super heavy.
Oh yeah, 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 for sure, for sure. And I'm looking forward to getting my copy. So, um,
Yeah, I you should be getting it here.
okay,
Did I send it to you already? I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah, I did. I did.
okay,
It went
okay,
out Monday, I believe.
okay, okay.
So, yeah, dude, I've been going to the post office. Like, I went Friday, I went Monday, and then I have to go tomorrow before Black Oak, Arkansas.
Hmm.
So, like, yeah, it's just been here you go, here you go, here you go, here you go.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that's good though.
Yeah, that's very cool. That's very cool. Um, so band is together. You're getting your shit together. When do you think you're gonna start actually doing shows?
We tentatively have talked about that. Where probably the middle of summer.
Okay, okay.
And I'm like I said, the intention is to make it big. Make it, or let me rephrase that. The intention is to make the show a big deal.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, and I want it to be a big event. We're gonna have merch. We're gonna have all that stuff.
Hmm.
And yeah, it'll be a big deal. I want it to be a big deal, especially in the summer. You
Hmm.
know,
Oh yeah, for sure,
what
for
time?
sure.
What time? When does beer taste the best? When it's about 90 degrees out.
Yep.
When do guitar necks warp and distort when it's 90 degrees out? But
Exactly,
yeah, I you know
exactly.
I don't know exactly yet what we'll do for a lineup for bands or anything like that or where it would be. I mean, I just know that I can't wait to play, man. I'm gonna
Hmm.
play my ass off that first show. I mean, I've been building up for this. I've been building my guitar stock and my amplifier stock and
Hmm.
my USS Oltmanns right here and all that shit. That's finally done. But, there's
Hmm.
always a new piece of gear.
Oh, it's. I've been doing a new series with drummers that we're just talking about gear, and that's the common thread is like it's a never ending cycle. Like you're
Oh yeah.
never done buying gear.
Or yeah, here, I'll tell you this one. So I owned a bass just like this. It's an
Hmm.
LTD Viper bass,
Hmm.
and I thought it was a different model. All right, I thought it was a more expensive one, and so I saw on Guitar Center yesterday that this bass was for sale. I'm like,
Hmm.
holy shit, 169.99, right?
Hmm.
Well, I looked at it and I went, that's not the model that they're claiming it to be. So I blew up the picture and I looked on the old googly Google,
Hmm.
and sure shit, they undermarked it. So I got it for like $130 less than what it should have been.
Oops.
So yeah, I went there, I grabbed it off the wall, I looked at it, and I went, all right, cool, yeah, it's all good. Got it home and I started working on it, and I went, why is there a big knob right there when it should be three small? And I went, all of a sudden I had like this rewind in my head and this epiphany. I went, oh my God, you idiot, you just rebought your bass guitar. So yeah,
Oh.
I own this bass again.
Hmm.
But I'm
Well.
glad, that's cool. I've had that happen a couple times where I've had instruments come full circle,
Hmm.
and it's just you can literally chop a fucking tree down with this thing. It's such a heavy. It's
Hmm.
all mahogany, and it's
Oh
like two
wow.
inches thick. Yeah,
Wow.
it's a trunk, dude. But yeah, no, that'll work. It sounds really good, plays really good. I was a fool for getting rid of it. Oh God. But yeah, no, the gear is a never-ending battle, and
Hmm.
I've been known to be the Mesa Boogie guy for so long with the metal shit that
Hmm.
trying to get that to morph with what I'm doing now. Uh, for any of the gear geeks out there, I tracked all the guitars with a Fender Hot Rod DeVille 212 with a Maxon 808 overdrive
Hmm.
pushing the front end of it, and then I had a Mesa Boogie 5 band parametric EQ or graphic, yeah, with the sliders
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think so.
technology.
Yeah.
I had that going through the effects loop, and so it's just a Fender amp being pushed a little bit, and Gibsons and Fenders. That was
Hmm.
my that was my jam.
Hmm.
None of that fandangled Ibanez Schecter Jackson stuff. None of the pointy stuff.
Well, for what it's worth, the guitar tone on what I've heard sounds freaking fantastic. Just heavy
Oh,
and thick and just yeah, meaty the
oh,
way you
it's
want it.
thick.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like it.
Oh, hell yeah, man. And as I said before we started recording, like I think Outlaw Saint and Heavy as I should do a show together at some point because
Hmm.
I
Oh, for
think
sure.
I think the music would mix. I think our crowds would mix. I think it'd be good for both of us, man. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I can't remember if I touched on it at all, but I mean that the goal here, uh, like I'm thankful for musicians coming to see musicians play, right?
Hmm.
The musicians are fans too,
Oh, absolutely.
but I don't do this to just have my friends come see me play. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like this,
Exactly.
the reason you put yourself out there is to gain a fan base,
Hmm.
and gain new friends and all that shit. And I want to play in front of new faces. And that's one thing that's happening right now is that people I have never met are messaging me saying, "Hey, I'd love to get a CD. Can you ship it to me?" Blah blah blah.
Hmm.
And so like people are buying the CD that I've never met before. But it also goes along with the promotion side of it too.
Hmm.
I am pushing and pushing. Anytime I see something that I can post on,
Hmm.
I'm quick to go, man. I got the
Yep.
video ready to go, and here you go. I got all my shit,
Absolutely, man.
all my ducks are in a row, to do this.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, I think that's definitely helping it.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah. And again, um, we again we talk of practice and it's a little weird, a little odd because like the three of us, me, Tank, and our bass player are all. I mean, I just turned 50. Tank is 49. He'll be
Oh
50 this
man,
year. Our bass player is 51, and then our guitar player is like 37.
oh, he's a
Um,
baby.
he's a baby. So all of our minds are in like 80s and 90s type promotions. Like even the flyers we put together look very like, 1987. So that's
Hmm.
where our minds are at. And Matt's kind of like, no, no, I don't like. It's like, shut up. You're outvoted. Just yeah. You're a kid. You have no idea. But
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
and
so you know.
oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, no, no worries.
Yeah, you flash back to, and I don't know how long you've been in the scene for, because I think you and I met a few years ago, somewhere around there. Like that's when I started noticing you at
Hmm.
shows, or we started talking and whatnot. I can't remember if I met you prior to that, but
Probably not because I think the first time I ever saw Hex was at that infamous Halloween show at the terminal.
oh, it was fucking horrible,
Oh, I thought it was great.
so bad. That show was, it took me so far out of my comfort zone having to dress up and look like a fool.
Yeah.
I know some people take this stuff, people get it, fuck, there's cosplay, people out there that dress up and all that shit, and that's
Oh
their
yeah.
bag, but
Yeah, and do it full time, which
right?
blows my
Well,
mind. It's like, really?
I don't have, 38 double D's to pack into a sailor, or like an anime characters, that's all you ever see anyway. They're all
Oh yeah.
dressed, their
Yeah.
chest hanging out, but, um, but, I don't, my amp, I still have the amp, but one of the, on the capacitors, one of the electrodes on there had broke off and was sitting there doing that. So
Oh
it was
man.
causing my guitar to, every time I'd hit a power cord and chug
Hmm.
it, it would shake the amp and it would shake that connection. I
Oh
fired it
man.
up here at home and you could see like electricity going in between. I'm like, that would kill me.
Yeah,
But
absolutely,
yeah,
man.
there wasn't a draw or anything like that. I mean, there was people there, but it wasn't anything to write home about. But
Hmm.
yeah, I wish it would have been a better show.
Well, I
But
mean, I saw Hex how many times since then? Good and the
yeah,
bad and all everything in between. So yeah,
yep, yep,
yeah.
yeah. No, we had some good shows. That band did really well for where we ended up and everything. And
Hmm.
um, it was a good stepping stone for everyone to build off of once it broke, or the band split up.
Hmm.
It was hard. It was hard for myself to a point, and it was hard for Tom,
Hmm. Hmm.
just because there was a lot of things going on at that time. But it turned out to be for the good, I think. They have a lot
Yeah.
of opportunities coming to them, and I'm paving my way, or making my own path, kind of thing. And
Hmm.
so, yeah, nobody killed each other. How about that?
Yeah. Yeah. There's no behind
Weird.
the scenes, no dirt, no.
I'm
It's
too
just
old for that shit.
exactly.
I left that in my 30s.
Um. Yeah. So yeah. I don't know anything else you wanna throw out there or
Uh,
anything we haven't covered yet. I don't think so.
I don't think so. Um, yeah, I can't think of anything else. That pretty much covers it.
Yeah. Yeah. And here we are now. So yeah, I mean, really looking forward to getting the CD, hearing all the songs. I've heard the four on Spotify, and just the variety in those four songs alone, it's just like, okay, yeah, this is going to be awesome. Because you have your slower song, you have your ballad, you have your rocker, you have your,
Totally. I'm a David
it's just like, yeah,
Coverdale. Yeah.
absolutely, man,
It
yeah.
it like I've heard different responses. Like, I'm a very mid-tempo-y kind of guy.
Hmm.
I'm like the 85 to 96 BPM kind of guy.
Hmm.
That's where I
Hmm.
like to hang out with my riffs,
Hmm.
but I made a pact to myself when I started this, that whatever riff I came up with, I'd roll with it.
Hmm.
I would work on it. I
Hmm.
wasn't going to put limitations on it. And, like a couple little stories, I guess. Like when I started working on the song Holding On, that's up on Spotify right now.
Hmm.
Um, that one had like that kind of like Red Hot Chili Peppers kind of like, just that,
Yeah.
and it's got this kind of like sleaziness to it,
Hmm.
that behind the beat kind of feel. And I love that. But then the slide guitar kicks in.
Hmm.
There's Warren Haynes, you
There
know,
you go.
there,
Yep.
there's Ricky Medlock from Blackfoot. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? I'm going to see him tomorrow too.
That'll
He's
be
getting
cool.
Yeah, I'm giving him like a promo pack kind
Nice,
of
nice.
thing. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but yeah, no, I mean, like that song has a different feel to it, and like when you get to the third verse, I wasn't really digging what I was coming up with, but it worked,
Hmm.
and just the way that it almost comes off like I'm rapping, which I don't want to say that, but it kind of does. No, I'm trying a different lyrical approach,
Hmm.
a different attack, and I've always been the type of guy that just wants to tell a story. I
Hmm.
don't like rhyming, and if it happens innocently. It's not an intentional thing. And but that song's got its own kind of feel to it. Mule's got a big, it's pretty self-explanatory title. I mean, Government
Hmm.
Mule is one of the biggest influences of mine, but that song actually come out of me going to Guitar Center one day with a Les Paul,
Hmm.
and I had the intention of trading that guitar in. And when I walked in, I saw the center counter. I saw this headstock sticking up, and I went, "Holy shit!" And I sprinted over there. Dude's got himself a 2019 Gibson Firebird,
Hmm.
tobacco burst, all that shit.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I looked at him. I looked at the sales guy. I said, "Whose guitar is that?" "Oh, it's this gentleman's." I said, "What are you doing with it, man?" He goes, "Well, I'm trading that in with a couple other guitars to get a different one." And I said, "I'll make a deal with you before any transactions happen. I'll find out what they're going to give me. You find out what you're going to get. If I got to pay you extra money to get that guitar," I said, "we'll trade guitars before Guitar Center gets involved."
Hmm.
Okay, yeah, we'll see. Well, he ended up he was going to get about what $200 less. So I said, "Here, take my Les Paul. You'll make $200 on a trade, and I'll take the guitar and I'll leave here today." I came home with that guitar on my birthday,
Nice.
2022, 3, 2. I don't remember anymore. But yeah, I came home with that guitar. First riff I played was the opening riff to Mule.
Mm.
And then it just all of a sudden everything just kept happening. So that guitar is the reason that song happened. If I didn't buy that guitar, I would have never wrote that song.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
a trip. I didn't that till
A-
now. Like
Absolutely,
everything
man.
just
Yeah.
kind of went in my head when I thought of that,
Hmm.
you know. But that's really how it is. It's all fate, It's
Hmm.
just the cards have to land in the right spot for it to happen, and it did. And I couldn't be happier with the guitar.
Hmm.
I love the song. It's got great lyrical content, but I'm not going to give that away.
Oh, of course not. You gotta have some spoilers, man, or
Yeah,
some
exactly. I
some
can't spoil
whatever.
all
Yeah, yeah,
I can't give you all the beans.
yeah.
Not all of them.
Um, well, speaking on that, I mean, and this might be a weird question, but this is what I kind of think of. Since you have your guitar arsenal, what do you have any thoughts on what you might play on stage?
Oh, I've been thinking about this since I started, really kind of getting to the end of the album kind of thing. And I
Hmm.
mean, I'm a Marshall guy. I
Hmm.
love Marshall. Like my buddy Chad instilled this saying in my head, martial law.
Mm.
He got
Hmm.
it from a guy, and martial law is basically take a guitar cord, plug your Gibson in to the front end of that amplifier and crank it. Now, I'm not technically I'm going straight into my amplifier, but but yeah, I mean I'm either going to run the DSL 100 down there or I'm going to
Hmm.
run that Origin 50.
Hmm.
That works really well with what I'm running right here. So I'll run two 412s with that.
Hmm.
So I'm just gonna say it right now, fuck digital. All right, I am an old school mentality kind of guy.
Hell fucking yeah, dude.
The only digital amp I have in this house is my Triaxis and
Hmm.
my JMP1, but those have tubes in them. So
Hmm.
yeah, I can't do digital. I don't care what people say. There's people that use them professionally and it works for them. I respect that, but I no, I'm sorry. I want to hear a tube amplifier with the sag
Hmm. Hmm.
that it's just there's a thing with it. And this is visually stimulating for musicians. They
Oh,
love
absolutely.
we judge from afar and we critique.
Hmm.
That's what we do, you know.
That is
But
our right as musicians. Yeah.
yeah, but I am looking at a different Marshall head right now. Something actually made in England.
Hmm.
These are made in Vietnam, which is great. But I'm just concerned about reliability.
Hmm. Hmm.
But I know I'm going to have a Strat. my Firebird, a Les Paul, and because I do my Firebird is the slide guitar.
Hmm.
The
Hmm.
slide plays so well on that guitar, and the action's super low too. Like it's just a go-to for that.
Hmm.
And the Les Paul is just it's a Les Paul. You know,
Yeah,
you can't go wrong with a
it's a
Les
beast.
Paul.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then the Strat gives me that ability to still have a little bit of oomph because
Hmm.
that Jeff Beck Strat's got some very active or a very high output noiseless pickups in it, so it's still
Oh,
chime,
okay, yeah, yeah,
but
yeah,
you can
yeah.
roll the tone back and you can get a more solid like humbucker sound out of it. So, but yeah, I mean for sure those three. There was another one in the fold that I completely forgot about, but I thought the Explorer, the damn Explorer.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, it's going to be in that range, you know, like the
Okay,
Fender and some Gibsons, and then the Marshalls.
yeah,
So
yeah. Nice, fucking old school. Just yeah,
just rock
absolutely.
tone, dude. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not even like that amp head is a one channel amp,
Hmm.
and you can push pull the gain stage on it,
Hmm.
and it doesn't like melt your face off. It's almost kind of based around a plexi, which is like sacrilegious to say, but it's got that
Hmm.
kind of that was kind of the mission statement with them building that amp. It's
Hmm.
not exactly true to a plexi or a JMP1,
Hmm.
but I'm running a pedal on my board that pushes the front end of that amplifier. So I can kick that pedal in and I can get a lead boost,
Hmm.
or
Hmm.
I could take it out of my signal chain by hitting one of the buttons on the very front of it.
Oh,
So
okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
there's there's a method to the madness, you know, with
Hmm.
that board, but
Hmm.
it works really, they complement each other really well.
Yeah,
So,
well, I mean, if we ever do a show together, you and our guitarist can geek out because he has well, on now modified, but he has a plexi.
does
That's
he?
what he's running through. Yeah. So yeah, you two can talk for hours about that shit. So.
Oh yeah, well, I'm all about it, man. You know, like I said, you know, when we started talking, I can kind of go off on a tangent,
Hmm. Hmm.
so I have to try to like wrangle myself back in. The gear shit I could talk about for days. That's not a problem. I've experimented. Like that's really the thing too, is that, you know, even in Hex, I started experimenting with different rig setups and
Hmm.
everything,
Hmm.
and you know, I've always taken pride in my gear. I've always taken pride in it. And even down to just wiping the thing down, cutting the strings off the tuners, shit like that. Like
Yeah,
that
just
goes
making it
far,
pretty. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know. That's you showing up to a business meeting in my mind in a suit, tie, briefcase, your hair's done up good, you smell
Hmm.
good. It's all about the presentation and how you present yourself is gonna go way further than coming in, just fucking throwing your guitar on the stage and your shit
Hmm.
and it's ripped up and destroyed, you know, and stuff like that. But always not like that. I like looking. I want to show that I give a shit,
Hmm.
you know. Taco Bell.
That I can't argue with that. I was gonna say, that being said, I do agree. Like shiny, pretty gear is great, but you think back to like when the Allman Brothers first time they played the Fillmore, they rolled up in their shitty ass van, and probably their gear was not in the best shape, and they blew everybody's minds away. So,
Yeah. Oh,
you know,
totally. Here, hold on. Where is it? Where is it? I got it. I swear I got it. Where is it? I know I got it. Oh shit, I can't find it. Well, I got the Allman Brothers. Wait, nope. I don't know where it's at. I actually got Live at the Fillmore on vinyl.
oh,
I've reached that point.
you cannot go wrong with that album. Best live
Oh
album
God, no,
ever
dude.
recorded, in my opinion.
There's you know, there was a couple different takes of Statesboro Blues, and there's same with like Mr. Banker from
Hmm.
Skinnerd.
Hmm.
There's you know the demo and the single and this and that, and there's certain versions that the slide guitar is different,
Hmm.
the way that they attack it and everything like that. And I've always been weird about that. I like consistency. I don't like when bands, I you know, like Government Mule can kind of go off on their 15-minute jam of a song, and
Hmm.
you know, I'm like, all right, cool, time to go get a beer. You know, I want to
Yeah,
hear like
yeah.
Blind Man in the Dark or you know, Mule or whatever, you know. And so I'm a stickler about that. Like I'm not much of a jammer.
Hmm.
you know, I try to tell people that, oh hey man, we should get together and like jam. I don't jam. When I
Yeah,
jam,
yeah, yeah.
it's
What does that even mean? Yeah,
yeah.
that's yeah.
When I go to practice, it's yeah, we'll hit a riff. Like we played, was it? I think I'm turning Japanese
Hmm.
accidentally.
Yeah,
Lance is
yeah, yeah.
standing there laughing. But it's just that'll happen. But for the most part, it's let's work on this song. Oh, okay, we got to work on that part. We got to tweak
Hmm.
this. We got to go over that. I'm more of a. There's got to be a purpose behind it.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's hard for me to not have that mentality or that
Hmm.
mindset.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure.
Business,
Business,
all
all
about
about the
business.
business. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, I know. Saint is the same way. Like, I mean, we're getting into the writing in the back half, so that might be a little bit. But when we practice, like, it'd be like, okay, are we going through the set as the songs, or are we going through it as a show?
Yeah.
So we can do like all his commentary and time it and do all that stuff. So yeah, I'm right there with you.
Oh
You know.
man, I remember. I remember them days with Four Blood that we would time the set.
Hmm.
What did? Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Like there was.
in some cases you have to though, because if you only
Oh
have
yeah.
25 minutes, you have to make sure you're within that. So you
God,
know.
that's funny. I haven't thought of that since a long time now that we used to do that.
Hmm.
That's funny. Yeah, now I have the times on here so I can just
Yeah,
I
just
can look
there
at
you
oh that song's that long.
go. Ah.
That's one thing that's hard to not do is follow the typical main riff verse chorus or main riff verse pre-chorus main riff
Hmm.
or whatever
Hmm.
that regiment of what every band writes a song like, you know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yep.
That was really hard to not do that. And I still do it, but you know, reprising a certain part here and there, like
Hmm.
uh Crusher's a good one, dude. That one, people rag on the 90s Metallica, but
Hmm.
that one's got there was something about some of the songs on Load and Reload that had this like really heavy blues feel to it.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
that song, Crusher, reminds me of that.
Okay.
It's just
Okay.
like I want to crank up my Mark III and grab my Hetfield Explorer and jam out, or
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
Triaxis or whatever. I'm a big kid. I'm a big kid. I got gear. I can't help it.
Well, oh, and like I like to say, and I've seen this posted many times, it's like we grow old, we don't grow up.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm still that 15-year-old kid in my 42-year-old body.
Oh,
That's
absolutely.
hard.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. Yeah.
that's when you realize that shit, when you get into your 40s, it didn't bother me at 40 or 41, but 42 it did. Started messing with me. But like I
Hmm.
say, I got so many irons in the fire between this and everything else I'm into. I got enough
Hmm.
things preoccupying me to still make me feel young. You
Oh,
know?
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And once you lose that, I mean, you're done, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nope. Nope. I'll still be the same old Andy. I killed no, let me rephrase that. I'll still be that young Andy, but I killed the old Andy, the crabby one.
Hmm.
Now he's not crabby much anymore. Quit
Yeah.
watching the news.
That helps. That helps.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
funny.
Uh anyway, yeah, yeah. So dude, I am so looking forward to this. This is gonna be yeah, this is gonna be awesome.
No, I'm looking forward to it, man. I guess as kind of a maybe for a little bit of a pre-closer here,
Hmm.
mission statement is I want to get on stage and I want to play some music for people to drink beer and tap their foot to.
Hmm.
I want it to be fun music. I feel like well, like somebody said today, what they what they heard on the CD is genuine to them. It's
Mm.
not
Hmm.
an overproduced uh pop generic ritzy overdone in Pro Tools kind of album.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's just like I said. Well, what did I say in here? Let's talk about what I said in here. Oh shit! There you go for all you old guys out there. Yeah, I'll give a brief thing here, but yeah, this album is a creation of years of being a musician and have always been or and always having the desire to write and record my own music. I took on writing, performing, and recording all the instruments and songs to make this album exactly what I wanted. This album showcases the influence ingrained in me as a musician and my abilities after playing since I was a young boy. I owe it to so many where I am as a musician today, and I'm thankful for what I've achieved with this album. This is the part. What you hear on this album is honesty and real lyrical content, the type of stuff that you can relate to. There's no coloring or overdone processing sounds. What you hear is some old school guitars into amps pushing those riffs. So, yeah, man, I mean, there's more to it, but I don't want to
Hmm.
bore you with it. But yeah, I mean, that's basically what it is. The sound of AC/DC early albums and shit like that. Deep Purple setting up in a dungy hotel because the place got burnt down. They were
Hmm.
going to record
Hmm.
Machine Head in, shit like that. I just wanted a raw album, and I can hear it. I can hear there's mistakes in there. It is what it is,
Yeah.
and like I guess I didn't really touch on it, but you know, I ended up with a drum kit about a year and a half before I left Hex.
Hmm.
I traded my neighbor a toolbox for just the shells and maybe like a couple cymbals, like just they were shitty,
Hmm. Hmm.
But I ended up setting it up and just slowly started getting around on it. And when I started recording, I went out and I upgraded cymbals. I reheaded the kit.
Hmm.
Um, bought an extra floor tom, 18 floor tom and mics, and I just started working on it. And
Hmm.
yeah, I had to do some editing here and there. That's kind of the I'm kind of going back on what I said in there, but to 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 tighten things up a little bit in certain spots. Like
Hmm.
I did my best I could do at where I was at with being a drummer.
Hmm. Hmm.
And for the most part, like 95% of it is long takes and then maybe a correction here or moving something over or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I had to. Realistically, I had to.
Hmm.
But, for how it sounds, I mean, it turned out really good. I'm actually proud of myself for the drum stuff. It wasn't easy,
Hmm.
you know. And I'm telling you, if I could go back and find where I yelled fuck every time I screwed up, like, dude, I had a path going from when my desk was over here and my drums were right here. I
Hmm.
was going back and forth. Oh, I was so pissed. I'd have my computer monitor turned and my mouse and my extra keyboard over on the floor tom trying to do takes and shit.
Hmm. Hmm.
And yeah, it was a pretty fun experience, But yeah, man, overall, as far as this album goes and what my intentions are with the project is, I just want people to have a good time when
Hmm.
they come to the shows. Uh, you know, uh, it's about it, man. I mean,
Hmm.
where I want to go with it and where it goes, there's still that temptation to push as far as I can go.
Hmm.
And I'm kind of leaving that up to the physical effort as far as like promoting and talking to the right people and everything
Hmm.
and the days of hopping in a van and playing a bunch of out of town shows and shit that may not be in my future. I don't know. But
Hmm.
I'm not saying no to it, but I know where everybody else is in the band
Hmm.
and I know where our limitations are and I respect that. And I'm kind of just going with it. Everyone knows that, hey, no matter what, I'm going to be in this band. So
Hmm.
if it doesn't work for you, that's fine. I have no problem with someone stepping down, just as long as everyone lets everyone know, and we
Yeah.
don't drag it on, but I wanted it to be like that. I wanted it to be an open door kind of thing where if you needed to step away, that's fine, dude. Do what you
Hmm.
got to do,
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
I want it to be an inviting environment and I want everyone to enjoy the music and just play and
Hmm.
play your ass off. A lot of us guys come from the metal stuff, Jeff not so much, but you know, uh, coming to this and doing something a little lighter on the gain knob,
Hmm.
it really pushes a musician. and I've grown immensely from being a metal player.
Hmm.
Like I was saying prior to the recording here, all I used to do was a bunch of power chords and pentatonic scales. I sounded like Zach Wild,
hmm. Hmm.
you know. Less is hard, but
Well, yeah, yeah.
but I really feel like I've grown. I'm using chords I never used before. I'm coming up with melodies, solos. I'm
Hmm.
pushing myself to do different stuff, slide guitar work, my vocals. I'm
Hmm.
no longer screaming. I'm not yelling. I'm not bitching about politics or any of that crap. I'm singing about stuff that actually means something to where, like I said, people can relate to.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And it shows too. I mean, if you were to play this album and say, "Yeah, this is the old, singer guitar player from Hex Vortices," they'd be like,
He sold
"No,
out.
it's not." Because I mean, no, not really. I mean, I think you've done the opposite actually. You've
Yeah.
gone internal and you've like, grabbed onto something real. Not that Hex wasn't real, but it's a lot easier to um
It's a touchy word.
there's a lot more
This is,
ground you can cover in a metal band that is more acceptable, I
yeah,
guess is the
it's,
way to put it. And this is just like raw emotion, you
what's
know?
funny is that and maybe you're not doing it, but a lot of people have a hard time with the idea of being accessible.
Hmm.
And in my mind, I used to walk around with a chip on my shoulder going, "Oh, I'm in a fucking metal band. I'm this, I'm that. I'm this,
Hmm.
Johnny Badass,
Hmm. Hmm.
listen to my metal band,
Hmm.
And it's no different than somebody supporting a political party or any of the other shit. It
Hmm.
don't mean shit.
Hmm.
It just doesn't. That type of I let that part of me go a long while ago. Like the whole ride to live, live to ride thing. Yeah, dude, you know what? I ride a Harley.
Hmm.
I don't buy into any of that shit. I just don't care. I don't.
Hmm.
The bucket of fucks is getting a lot lighter the older we get. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? Like you just
Oh
kind of let
yeah.
stuff go, and it used to be an identity and it used to mean something, and now I feel like with the age and how do I put it? Like with where things have progressed to, I feel like it's so diluted now that the mission statement isn't really there anymore.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
it's not the same as it used to be, where bands were really busting their ass and touring, and the record labels and the industry was so different and everything. And now it's, guys like me can record shit in their basement and put it out for the world to listen to, but
Hmm.
we don't have the financial backing of a record
It,
label to get us
exactly.
there.
Exactly.
So, that's why I say I just want to have fun with shit. I don't care. If somebody likes it, great. If they don't like it, tell your friend about me,
Hmm.
about us. That's cool. I'm fine with that, but I just, there's no limitation to it, so to speak. It doesn't mean I'm going to be writing a Bon Jovi ballad or, wearing like ripped up jeans or anything, but
Hmm.
um, I want to play what I want to play, and if people like that, that's cool. But I'm not trying to build myself up to be anything big and fancy, nor the band.
Hmm.
I, the whole theme of the album is based around me being a truck driver and old 60s 70s drag strip muscle cars and dragsters and shit like that. Like,
Hmm. Hmm.
that's the theme. That's the stuff that I get off on. I love that shit. I take a lot of pride in being a truck driver. That's why it's called heavy hauler.
There
Well,
you go.
I'm hauling some heavy fucking tunes here,
Hmm.
whether it be the riffs or it be the drum groove or it be the lyrical content.
Hmm.
That's, as soon as I came up with that, I went, yeah, that's the title of the album.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know,
Absolutely, man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so I think we've covered everything and more.
I can't.
And no, yeah, I mean, just best of luck and looking forward to it. And I'll be there for sure, for
No,
sure.
I appreciate it, man. And yeah, as far as I guess I kind of totally like went nuts again with what I was saying, but where everything stands right now is I have physical copies. I
Hmm.
have stickers. So in the stickers, I could just show you the sticker, but that would be the easier thing to do.
Is
So
just.
that's the sticker. Is
Hmm.
that, there we go.
Yep.
And so it's the heavy as I heavy hauler wheel there, and so I'll mail out CDs. It's $13 with so it's a CD and shipping, and you get a free sticker and a guitar pick with it. Um, or if you're local, $8. It's $2 for a sticker, but I'm throwing stickers in like 50. You know, the first 50 CDs, I'm doing stickers with it.
Hmm.
But yeah, PayPal, Vimo, all that shit. I'm on there. HeavyasI@yahoo.com. We got, typical Facebook page, Instagram page, YouTube page. Uh, I'm updating every day, putting new content up,
Hmm.
giving updates as much as I can when something new's come around, all that shit. But yeah, we got a full lineup in the band now, and just working on material, getting it tight. And I'm telling you, when we're firing on all eight cylinders, dude, it's like Dan laughed at me because I wear cowboy boots now. I'm that guy.
Hmm.
Short, fat German kid with cowboy boots on, blue jeans. But I when I start moving my feet around when I'm playing, I'm in it. I'm grooving to it. I'm feeling it, dude. It's
Hmm.
just it's that upstroke on the guitar. It's yeah,
Yep.
dude. I'm
Yep.
feeling it.
Yep.
So I've had a few of those moments here in these practices that we've had as a group, and I'm telling you, it's going to be badass, man. Really, I'm super excited about it. I've never been this excited about something I've been part of in a long time.
That's got to feel good. That's got to feel real
That,
good.
that kind of goes against itself, but I haven't been this excited for something musically in a long time.
Hmm.
I've been in a lot of different bands, and we've done some cool shit, but this is like, seeing it come to fruition after all this work. And people compliment me and all that stuff, but you know what? It just doesn't. I don't feel
Hmm.
like I did anything grandioso or amazing or any of that shit. I just recorded some music and put it on CD.
Hmm.
I don't think of myself as a great songwriter or a great guitar player. I feel that I'm a better bass player than I am guitar player.
Hmm.
It's just that, it kind of how my mind works. But
Hmm.
now, where I'm at with playing and everything, it's grown quite a bit. So I'm proud. I'm proud of it, and I can't wait to see where it goes. So if anyone's interested in shit, get a hold of us on Facebook, Instagram, uh, reach out to us over email, heavyasI@yahoo.com. Ta-da!
Well, yeah, this has been a lot of fun. We should actually hang out in person someday.
For sure, dude. And I'll see about once we get rolling here with the set and everything, when we have a complete set,
Hmm.
see about doing a full band, have us all down here.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome too. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, man.
It'll be a treat.
Another little sneak preview right there. There you go.
Yes,
All right, man. Yeah. So I guess best of luck and looking forward to it and
appreciate it.
all of that. All of that. So
Awesome. Well, thank you, sir,
yeah,
and thank you to all those people out there that are supporting Heavy as I appreciate
awesome. Cool.
it.